Welcome, I'm Nicola Curry, Head of Art and Design at New College Worcester, and I believe that every student here can succeed in art. And I'd like to introduce you to some of the work that our sixth formers have been doing this year, both the AS students and the A-level students. We design the courses at New College around the students themselves, and we use a wide variety of media. For example, this work was made by a sixth form student called Beth, and she worked in polymer clays, cutting out little coloured discs to build up the shape. Another material that we use is a fabric hardener called Pavapol, and Beth was exploring ideas of female beauty and how it ages. And this is her theatrical face. And this is Beth's favourite piece called Bruce, that she made with the ceramicist John Barrett-Daines, who was one of our visiting speakers. Beth created a ceramic head by measuring it with calipers and making a self-portrait. Her final piece for AS was exploring the idea of female beauty in disguise from the fetus all the way through to the death. This summer, Beth has been working with a professional ceramicist at East North Pottery because she's hoping to go on to do ceramics at university.
My project is called Walking in the Footsteps of Fairy Tales, and for the creative making I made a range of shoes that represented different characters from fairy tales. So for example, this shoe has got lots of little sweets and a gingerbread man to represent Hansel and Gretel. These tiny little ones are Thumbelina's shoes. We've got Robin Hood here, with his arrows, and the leaves from the woods that he lives in. We've got Rumpelstiltskin, Jack and the Beanstalk, the Ugly Stepsisters from Cinderella, and my final shoes that I made were these, and they were meant to be Cinderella's shoes to go to the ball. This is my final piece, and it's Cinderella's ball gown. So I've put some mice and some clocks and some pumpkins on the lower part, just because they're the key themes in the story, and they're also around the back of the dress as well.
My exam piece I did was about encasement in ancient Egyptian art, and in my project I decided to look into how the Egyptians encased precious objects and sacred objects. And then I brought it forward to the modern day period by encasing modern day objects which are sacred for us, such as technology like our phones and laptops. I also made ceramic pyramid pots because I find working with ceramics my best medium of work to work in.
My theme was conversation piece, and I immediately thought conversation happens over a cup of tea, or it does for me anyway, so I decided to make teapots. And I made lots of different types of teapots, but then I decided to focus on novelty ones, and the theme I picked was the EU referendum because it's so topical at the moment. This piece focuses on stereotypes about different countries and how they're still used but they're not really relevant anymore, and you can tell by how absurd the teapots look how irrelevant they are. The board behind has all the newspaper headlines about the EU because I thought some of them were a bit silly as well, and I'm just trying to show almost the absurdity of the whole thing and how it's been blown out of proportion. So my 4 teapots, we've got Raphael the Spanish man, we've got Angela Merkel, we've got Pierre the Frenchman and Tarquin the Englishman. I mean, even their names are a stereotype, and I just think, you know, the whole thing is sort of trying to show how silly everything is.
Hello, my name is Ada and I'm in year 13, and this is my AS work. My AS work is about different kinds of beauty. It first started with jewellery, and which then interested me to look at other types of beauty to do with the face and makeup. So I went from looking at natural beauty. From there I looked at natural beauty in animals and pottery and nature, so shells. and then I moved to more theatrical makeup, which then led me to look at tribal kind of beauty, so someone who would be living in the jungle like Pocahontas or someone. And that got me interested in cultural beauty, so what cultures consider beautiful. And I did a lot of research on 3 cultures, from the Maori to Igbo and the Burma women. And I decided to make a book for children, teaching them about these cultures. My book is for the partly blind and partly sighted people, children, and I've made it both braille and tactile. And also to aid children that have no sight, I made 3D clay work of the main characters, and I also made a doll of Kate, who is the child that is learning about the cultures in my book.
My name is Renee and I'm doing AS art, and I'm working mainly on fairy tales. I started on working on what sort of things you can add into fairy tales, like the history of fairy tales, or like the styles that you can use, and like what age they're aimed at. And then an author came in, John Williams, and he showed us how to do clay, and for our 150th anniversary he helped us all make a tree, an apple tree, which represents NCW, and the one that I made was just there. And I worked on him, like how the different material feels, and how as a VR you can feel it as well as while someone's reading it to you. And then I worked on this myself using different materials, so you can see it yourself and feel it. And then after this I actually made a book. I called it The Magic Scarecrow. I wrote the story myself and drew the pictures as well, and I'm very happy about this piece of work as well.